G'day, hi, and welcome. There's my girl. And my girl. You wanna grab your stick? Yeah. Oh, it's nice out. It's really, I gotta see. There's my cat. Don't you be bad, Missy. I might as well go say hi to Gazoo too before we get into the video because we don't want to be rude now. Oh, you actually made it onto the floor off the bed. Well, good for you. Nice to see that you moved 5.5 feet. Very good. Keep up the progress. All right. Okay, so it is just about 2:30. It is 23 degrees, the warmest day of the year so far. We are the 30th today? Yeah, we're the 30th today. So we're now almost into May. There's still some snow left there, quite a bit of snow. In fact, I'll show you how much snow it is before we get into the discussion of the bike. There's my lovely bike. I just came back from ride number 8 this season. So tomorrow my new insurance kicks in. Just show you how much things are drying up a bit. So it's the driveway is still terrifying. My driveway is always terrifying for a motorcycle. Okay, so we're about halfway down on the tailgate of the van. It's too mucky there. I won't go any further. Oh, maybe. There we go. So that's how much snow we got left in the shade. It takes forever. Eh? Grab your stick. And thing is the question is will the snow dry out, will the ground dry out before we can smell the dog crap? You know what I mean? Because that's what happens in the spring. Is like you get fresh air, but you get all the thawed out dog crap. All right, so here's what I did. So yesterday I did the oil. 2 days ago I did the oil change. Couldn't ride yesterday. It was snowing. I didn't ride the day before. It was raining and then it snowed. So I put 15W50 in this. Although Triumph calls for 15W20 in this, although it calls for 15W50. Nobody kind of really carries 15W50 around here that I could find. I don't know what my dog's going after. But anyway. So I changed the oil, changed the filter. Everything looks good. That was my first run with the fresh oil change. Bike ran, considering how much warmer it is today, I mean, it was actually really, almost on the hot side. But I do got something planned for today. It ran around 74, which is still cooler, and I'm okay with cooler because cooler means less heat. Less heat means more power. Now the only thing I'm going to look for is just, make sure that my filter isn't leaking. Which it looks nice, good and bone dry in there. You guys can't see it, but I can see it. And then, of course, my drain plug. Oh, ow, I don't bend that way. It looks dry, too, so that's good. It's a good idea after your first run, just kind of inspect things. I'm constantly inspecting things on this bike. It's not a high-maintenance bike, but it seems like it's a busy bike, where I'm always checking something. But what am I doing today? So today, okay, I'm going to be burping the bike. The coolant system right now, okay, is at the minimum. Now, mind you, I just took it for a run, so it's hot, so I gotta let the bike cool down. It's at that dilemma, a catch-22. It's like, oh, look at that, bing, gleaming and shining. It's like, okay, well, I can take the fairing off, which is going to take me a little while, burp the system. I'll be playing around with the bike for about an hour, and then go for a ride later. But then I came outside, it's like, well, it's nice out. I'll go for a ride now, let the bike sit, take the fairing off, let it cool, and then burp the system. Somebody, because this is my first liquid-cooled bike, right? So I'm new to that, burping the system, although I did stuff like that before in the motorcycle shop, like 25 years ago, whatever, when I used to work on other people's bikes a bit. And yeah, I've done it before, and it's not hard, but somebody reminded me of the procedure, and then I watched a couple of videos on it. It's like, oh, okay, it's that. Yeah, okay, I remember doing that. But basically, I don't know how it happens. I think it just, from sitting over the winter, and then you've got a few other things that happen. Hot, cold. You end up getting air pockets in the radiator somewhere. Older hoses, hairline leak, like little fractures where it's like nothing leaking out of it, but it sucks in just a little bit of air, and you get a little bit of air in the system, and then you can get these leaks. So I don't know if because my coolant was about that level last year. Now, mind you, with the temperature differences too, the coolant level changes with the temperature. Because the liquid expands, it contracts with hot and cold, right? So I've already factored that in. But before we get to that, I'm going to talk about the oil in this bike. I put about 3.5 quarts or more. It calls for 3.8 liters, 3.5 or 3.8 liters with the filter change, and 2.5 without the filter change. Now I changed the filter, same size filter, everything like that. But this bike, it's a mysterious bike sometimes. It either, you look at it, well, you take it for a run. Mind you, after the first good run, it takes a while for the oil to come back. And make sure the bike's level when you're doing this. Obviously, when you're putting the oil in, make sure when you check the oil that the bike is upright and level, right? And but the oil level on this bike is always changing. Sometimes you check it, it's low. You check it again about 5 minutes later, and it's up, just from moving the bike around. So it is what it is. So when you pull the bike up, just hold it there for about maybe like 30 seconds or a minute or whatever you're willing to do, and then check it when it's cold, and then you'll get an idea. But I put 2050 in it. Definitely there is no oil lag on this bike at all. This thing's a rocket ship. Definitely ran cooler, ran smoother. The idle today, I don't know, I'm going to talk about fuel mapping too, maybe in another video. But for today, basically what I'm going to be getting at is burping the system. I don't think I'm going to flush because I know the coolant is good for 2 years. Now, technically, you could say I bought the bike about 2 years ago, but I only put it on the road last year, so it didn't run enough to break it down enough to worry about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to top up today. Pull the fairing off, burp the bike, top it up, burp it, top it up, burp it. And how you burp it is basically, well, I'll show you when I get it going. Even if I don't get it all done today, I'll at least get the fairing off, because when it's nice like this, I just want to go out riding. But I've got a few missions I got to do this week, so it is now Monday, and I want to make sure that, look at that beautiful Triumph, I want to make sure that I have everything ready to go. Where's my cat? So I'm going to burp the system and top up as necessary. This bike does run hot, and I'm got a couple of missions to town. I really don't want this bike overheating on me in town. It hasn't overheated on me yet, but it does run really hot. I'm going to talk about the fuel mapping in another video, but one of the things is if I can get that Tune ECU program. I've been trying to download it, but I can't quite get it. And the program that I think I need for this bike is the 10166 program, which I was able to download that, but I don't have the other part, the actual program, so I got to get that. And it's not like I'm going to be touching that anytime soon, because you need another USB to your what you call it, the plugs anyway, to plug in the bike to smooth out the throttle and stuff like that. But I might not need to do that. I don't know. I'm going to try the plugs first, but I'd like to have that and get into the fuel mapping. But one of the things is that you could set your idle, and I don't know if I have to set the idle now, because today I started the bike like yesterday, or like a couple of days ago. I guess once it gets above 19 degrees out, the bike just runs completely normal. But anyway, I'll talk about it in the next video. So for now, it's about the coolant. Been a nice day. I'm going to get to that, pull the fairing off, and yeah, and then I'll show you.